A powerful moment of remembrance and recognition for Indigenous children who never returned home.
Every one of them was loved, and every child mattered.
Tonight, we are here in the nation's capital as this country reflects on the difficult legacy of residential schools.
When the door shut, everything changed.
The stories of survivors and the commitment to reconciliation.
We cannot change the past, but we must remember it.
Donald Trump wants to use U.S. cities as military training grounds.
It's the enemy from within.
As the defense secretary reads the top brass, the Riot Act.
It's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon.
And new tariffs targeting Canadian lumber.
It's just chaos.
The crippling blow for businesses.
This is The National in Ottawa with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us here in the nation's capital on this National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. For many people, this day is filled with emotion as the stories of residential school survivors, their pain, their resilience, have been front and center. And so has the memory of all those children who never returned home. They were honored on Parliament Hill and at events held right across the country. It's now been 10 years since the Truth and Reconciliation Commission laid out 94 calls to action, a blueprint for a way forward. The creation of this day was one of them. Rafi Boudjikanian takes us through the official events here in Ottawa and the story of two survivors who attended.
And as a child, I dreamt through each night.
A gathering on Parliament Hill to honor the children forced to attend residential schools, those who survived and those who did not. This is the 5th National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, but survivors have wounds that go further back.
When the door shut, everything changed. We were stripped of our clothes. We were given a bath to scrub the Indian out of us.
The Pezendawatch siblings were separated from their parents, packed into a train and sent hours away, spending years at St. Mary's Residential School in Kenora, Ontario. They were forbidden from speaking their Algonquin language or to each other. Girls and boys were separated.
We got the worst end. The guy was, the priests were treating like we got sex abuse and everything. Today, when I hear train, it triggers me off.
We scrubbed our skin with a wire brush.
Printed on this cloth, the names of children who never returned home. A powerful addition for this year's event, more than 1,000 new names. And there's space for more. It was carried by students who can easily imagine themselves in those shoes.
It's alarming because Canada was painted as a perfect country, and now that this is coming to light, it's alarming for everyone.
Similar events were held across the country, from Halifax to Toronto and Winnipeg, each city with its own history of residential schools. The central message: there is a lot more to do on the path to reconciliation.
Each of us has a circle of influence. Our schools, workplaces, families and communities.
We pledge to build a future where survivors are honored with remembrance, with justice, and with a stronger, fairer Canada.
With today also known as Orange Shirt Day, some buildings in the parliamentary precinct are lit up in orange. Incidentally, that train station where the Pezendawatch siblings and many others were shipped off to Kenora hours away, it used to be right behind me. It's now the Senate.
What a terrible story from Eddie. And Rafi, we know the Truth and Reconciliation Commission laid out 94 calls to action a decade ago. Where does progress on those stand?
At last count by CBC News, 15 calls to action have been completed. Some 60 more have work underway. 17 have not even been started.
All right, thank you, Rafi. That's Rafi Boudjikanian for us tonight in Ottawa. As we mentioned, this can be a tough day for many people, but there is help. The number on your screen will connect you with support 24 hours a day. You can call 1-866-925-4419. Now, we'll have more coverage of this day later in the hour, but let's turn to the United States, where President Donald Trump says he wants to use American cities as training grounds for military forces, all to target what he calls the enemy from within. Katie Simpson shows us the bombastic and controversial plans to reshape the armed forces.
Sending National Guard troops into major American cities could become a routine deployment, regularly using military force on U.S. soil against U.S. citizens. It is an idea the U.S. president is backing.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard.
Donald Trump made his case to hundreds of the most powerful American generals and admirals summoned for a rare in-person gathering.
It's the enemy from within, and we have to handle it before it gets out of control. It won't get out of control.
National Guard troops have been deployed to several Democrat-run cities, including Los Angeles this summer. Trump would like to add more locations to his list.
In our inner cities, which we're going to be talking about, because it's a big part of war now. It's a big part of war.
These new threats come along with new promises of more power for some soldiers and leaders.
No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement. Just common sense, maximum lethality, and authority for warfighters.
Other changes announced include killing whistleblower programs to report abuse and toxic behavior, and women seeking combat roles will now have to meet the highest male standards.
If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it.
All of it part of the broader effort to reshape American military culture.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more debris. We are done with that shit.
There is growing concern among some experts about several of the proposed changes in combination with Trump's threats.
There are certainly parts of the administration that are trying very hard to move in an authoritarian direction.
Amid this alarm, Trump's speech stood out. He spoke for more than an hour, rambling at times.
During the sleepy Joe Biden era.
He aired his grievances, attacked his opponents, and made a bizarre reference to a racial slur while talking about nuclear war.
I call it the N-word. There are two N-words, and you can't use either of them.
And he re-upped his familiar threat to annex Canada.
I said, well, why don't you just join our country? You become 51, become the 51st state.
Trump's delivery aside, the message to military members who disagree with these plans or the changes, they're being encouraged to resign.
And Katie, it seems in terms of sending in the National Guard that Donald Trump has more cities in mind.
Yeah, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles again. He complained about crime in all of those cities, sending a warning shot they could be up next.
All right, Katie, thank you. That's Katie Simpson in Washington tonight. Donald Trump also has a warning tonight for Hamas. Accept his plan to end the war in Gaza or else. And he wants an answer within days. Senior international correspondent Margaret Evans has a closer look at the proposed deal and why many are skeptical about whether it will work.
U.S. President Donald Trump is still basking in what he clearly hopes will turn out to be a diplomatic victory.
The Muslim countries are all signed up. Israel's all signed up. We're just waiting for Hamas.
He says he's giving Hamas 3 or 4 days to approve a 20-point plan aimed at ending Israel's assault on Gaza and the release of all the remaining Israeli hostages, a plan that Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appeared to agree to in public on Monday.
What we saw yesterday.
Israeli journalist Noga Tarnopolsky credits Trump and coordinated international pressure for what is a shift. But she worries the deal won't stick.
What Donald Trump is imposing both on Netanyahu and on Hamas is the possibility of their political end.
The plan mentions the possibility of a credible pathway to Palestinian statehood. But overnight, Netanyahu posted a video in Hebrew on social media saying he'll never agree to it. Palestinian critics say the plan waters down the original language demanded by Arab governments on statehood and on the withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza.
If it's a blueprint only and that can be improved, that's fine. But if it is final and nobody can even improve it, then we are dealing with a problem.
Mustafa Barghouti is a long-term Palestinian politician.
The most important thing about this deal is that it could stop the war.
Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey have all reportedly urged Hamas to approve the plan, which depends on a Hamas-free Gaza. In the sea of ongoing misery inside the Strip, few were daring to hope for a ceasefire.
We need to live like other people in the world.
On Tuesday, the Israeli military dropped more leaflets over Gaza City, saying Palestinians should flee to save their lives and that the fighting won't end until Hamas is defeated. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.
More than 30 people are dead and many more are injured after a powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake hit the central Philippines. That intense shaking caused buildings to collapse, cutting power to some residents in Cebu province. The earthquake struck off the coastal city of Bogo, but there is reportedly no tsunami threat. Officials say they do expect the death toll to rise. Well, Canada's already reeling lumber industry is bracing for a new round of Trump tariffs, an additional 10% on softwood lumber and even higher tariffs to some other wood products. Nisha Patel shows us the impact.
These kitchen cabinets built in Shediac, New Brunswick are the latest Canadian goods set to be slapped with U.S. tariffs.
I'm giving it about 3 months before that business completely dries up for us.
Glenwood Kitchen sells about 20% of its products south of the border. The family-run business will absorb the extra costs for now, but that's not a long-term option.
We definitely have been scrambling the last few days trying to put together a plan on how we're going to recoup that business.
Starting October 14th, wood cabinets and vanities will be hit with a 25% U.S. tariff. On January 1st, that rate is set to jump to 50%. There's also a 10% global tariff on softwood lumber. Combined with already existing 35% U.S. anti-dumping duties, total levies on Canadian softwood producers would add up to 45%.
Business survives on certainty. There's no certainty anymore. It's just chaos.
Softwood lumber is a long-standing source of tension between the two countries. The U.S. claims Canada floods the market with cheaper, subsidized products.
We're hurting already. And yeah, it's going to hurt even faster. The decision on whether to stay open is going to be made faster.
The new tariffs are Donald Trump's latest bid to shore up domestic industries. Just as he did with steel, aluminum, and autos, he's using national security as his justification. He said major economies like the EU and Japan that have cut separate trade deals will have lower tariff rates.
I think what it tells us is that trade talks between Canada and the United States are clearly stalled. There are no visible signs of progress.
A senior Canadian government source told CBC News there will be no exemptions for CUSMA-compliant goods. Formal negotiations to review CUSMA are expected to start early next year. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
The Alberta government is promising to pay parents of young students in the event of a teacher's strike.
Eligible parents or guardians would receive $150 per week per student for the duration of the ATA's labor action.
So that $150 a week is for parents of kids under the age of 12 enrolled in schools affected by a strike. The union, representing 51,000 teachers, says its members will strike on October the 6th unless a deal can be reached. The program will also include a curriculum toolkit for parents to keep kids learning from home. Well, there's more uncertainty in Alberta, with Imperial Oil announcing plans to slash hundreds of jobs and sell its Calgary-based head office. Anis Haydari now with what is behind the big cuts by one of Canada's oldest companies.
After more than a century there, Imperial Oil is drastically cutting back in Calgary. The company, controlled by ExxonMobil, axing 20% of its total workforce. About 900 jobs gone by 2027, most of them in southern Alberta's largest city.
This is a painful week.
Though energy analysts point out these layoffs are part of a global trend.
And what Exxon and Imperial are doing is trying to be the lowest cost barrel in the oil sands and also globally competitive. And so they aren't shutting in production. They have no intention of producing less oil.
Basically, how can I produce extra barrels from my current installations by using technology, using new methods?
The federal minister of energy posting online that he's deeply disappointed to learn of Imperial Oil's decision. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith at least partly blaming Ottawa for the pending layoffs.
But this is what happens when you have uncertainty. And this is part of the reason why we have to work very quickly to get to a resolution with Ottawa so that we can start building again.
But the company isn't blaming Ottawa and says it's about efficiency and restructuring. And industry watchers have said Imperial Oil is a healthy business.
So the response shouldn't be to blame a corporation for acting like a corporation. This is what they do. The response should be, how can we attract more jobs, more firms, more economic development?
Imperial says most of any remaining jobs in Calgary could move to an Edmonton refinery, but it's still a net loss.
They are highly skilled jobs. They are people that have, most of them probably university degrees, that have been making good money and have been spending in the local economy. So there will be some spillover impact.
Imperial also says it tentatively plans to sell its head office here in a city it's had operations in since 1923. Anis Haidari, CBC News, Calgary.
A wildfire in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley is forcing dozens of people to evacuate or be on alert to leave at a moment's notice.
Praying that nothing will happen, but again, it's material stuff, so it's, as long as nobody gets hurt, nobody gets killed.
Officials say the fire started on Sunday near Lake George and has grown to about 150 hectares. No structures have been damaged, but the strong winds are keeping the fire out of control. Well, as Newfoundland and Labrador's election draws closer, a proposed hydro deal with Quebec is becoming a major issue on the campaign trail. As Peter Cowan tells us, some voters doubt the potential agreement is in their best interest.
After decades of being shortchanged, we are on the cusp of finally turning that page.
The Liberal pitch to voters is a simple one. Return them to power and they'll finalize a $225 billion hydro deal with Quebec.
This historic deal will mean funding for healthcare, so families can get the care when they need it, and hospitals are better staffed, and seniors will get the dignity that they deserve. It will mean more money in your pockets.
A 1969 deal with Quebec sells power from Churchill Falls in Labrador for a very cheap price and doesn't expire until 2041. This new deal increases the price immediately. In return, Quebec locks in the power for 50 years and develops more hydro projects on the Churchill River.
And I just have this sneaky suspicion that Quebec is out for themselves.
At this coffee shop in Gander, voters told the Liberal leader they want to make sure a new deal doesn't repeat the mistakes of the past.
I really want to see you look out for Newfoundland. I don't want to see another 99-year deal that we're locked into.
The Liberals say the deal will fix the province's dire financial state, billions in borrowing and a rising deficit.
To see some relief from that, to see the province, the government say, hey, we have more money, we can do more things, those are really big things here.
He has the arrogance to demand that this election must be about his deal with Quebec.
The Progressive Conservative leader promises to get a better deal and will put it to a referendum.
On my watch as Premier, I will not rubber stamp a bad deal that sends the benefits of our resources to Quebec for another 50 years.
The deal's supposed to be finalized by April, but how it plays out will depend on who voters choose on October 14th. Peter Cowan, CBC News, St. John's.
Nigel Wright, the ex-chief of staff to former Prime Minister Stephen Harper, has died. Wright joined Harper's office in 2011. He resigned years later after he broke conflict of interest rules. He secretly paid then Conservative Senator Mike Duffy more than $90,000 to cover some of Duffy's questionable living expenses. In a social media post, Harper says Wright loved his country and believed in the value of public service. Nigel Wright was 62 years old. Well, Blue Jays fans are firing back after the New York Yankees banned fans who live in Canada from buying playoff tickets.
That is a very classic Yankees move to give themselves a nice safe space to play.
Jose Bautista's take on the ban and how support on the road has helped him shine. 6 Inuit teens embark on a trip to connect with artifacts tied to their heritage.
Like the ancestors holding on to you, like touching you.
Continued coverage from the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. We're back in 2. Well, Blue Jays fans are still buzzing after the team won their division title for the first time in 10 years, but a potential mood killer is at play. As Thomas Daig explains, fans here in Canada may not be able to buy tickets to some playoff games.
Let's go Blue Jays!
Coming from all corners of Canada, Blue Jays fans are known to travel.
Let's go Blue Jays!
So consider their frustration now that a potential postseason opponent is barring ticket sales for some visitors.
I don't like it. It's poor sportsmanship.
That is a very classic Yankees move to give themselves a nice safe space to play baseball in.
2 strikes to Volpe. That ball is hit.
Those New York Yankees are on the hunt, keen to face Toronto in the next playoff round if the Bronx Bombers win this one. But fans logging on to Ticketmaster to buy postseason tickets at Yankee Stadium are told sales to this event will be restricted to residents of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. Officially, the Yankees say it's to prevent scalping, but it also cuts down on cheers for the visiting team. Just ask Jose Bautista, who led the Jays through the playoffs twice. Leaning on those rowdy traveling fans.
It's a privilege and a luxury that not a lot of teams have. The Jays are one of maybe a handful or less that get that kind of following.
Restricting ticket sales isn't new. In 2023, Canadian residents were barred for 24 hours from buying tickets to the Toronto Maple Leafs' second-round playoff series in Florida. And the Jays only sell to buyers with a Canadian address.
We play well here. You know, we love the support and the atmosphere here.
Canadian Sarah Hakeem captured the moment "O Canada" was sung at Yankee Stadium in the regular season and hopes others can make the trip again.
I'm a Canadian in New Jersey. If folks want tickets, I mean, I'm happy to help.
The Jays will face either the Yankees or Boston in the American League Division Series beginning Saturday. The Red Sox tell us they do not restrict who can buy tickets. Thomas Daig, CBC News, Toronto.
The remains of a man who was taken from his family and forced to attend residential school have been returned after nearly 60 years.
He must be saying, they found me. I'm home now.
The push to support others undergoing the same fight. And the Bishnoi Gang, now designated a terrorist entity. But how did we get here?
From behind the prison, he started to expand his criminal empire.
The National breaks down the story shaping our world. Next.
We all have to work at this. If we want it to work, we have to put an effort into it.
Wise words from one residential school survivor here in Ottawa today as people gathered on Parliament Hill to mark the 5th National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It's a day to honor all the children, those who survived and those who did not. Now, on this day, an Ontario First Nation is sharing its decades-long fight to repatriate one of their own. He died far from home after being forced into residential schools against his family's will. Sarah Law brings us their story.
As a child, Percy O'Nabigan was taken from the Northern Ontario community of Lone Lake 58 First Nation and put into an Indian residential school.
I often thought how he must have felt, how he must have wondered, where's my mom, where's my dad? Thinking, is today the day they come to get me?
Percy, who was epileptic and partially paralyzed, was sent from residential school to several institutions without his family's consent. Elder Jocelyn Bananish remembers playing with Percy before he was sent to residential school.
We were good friends, just like brother and sister. That's how we were.
Percy died of tuberculosis at 27 and was buried in Woodstock, Ontario, more than 1,200 kilometers from home. Now, nearly 60 years later, His remains have finally been returned.
He must be saying, they found me. I'm home now.
I'm glad that he came home.
His family fought for years for this and is reburying him with his siblings.
There needs to be some type of repatriation law to address this.
Saul Mamakwa, a residential school survivor and member of provincial parliament for Kiiwetinoong, is among those calling for more support for others facing a similar burden.
It'll be easier for families that want to bring their children home.
Hopefully by what we've done, we've paved that way a little bit. And, now that we know what needs to get done, then we can share that information.
Claire O'Nobigan says she hopes sharing Percy's story helps others.
I hope it doesn't take as long as it took for us. Never give up hope.
She says his story shouldn't be buried with him. Sarah Law, CBC News, Long Lake 58 First Nation, Ontario.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world.
We are on our way to the airport.
6 Inuit teens journey to a capital museum to see a southern curation of their culture.
You could kind of feel the energy that the artifacts give you.
Why they view it as a bridge from the past to the future. But first.
Every one of them was loved, and every child mattered.
Remembering the children on a poignant day for truth and reconciliation, one of the 94 calls to action championed by the late former Commissioner Murray Sinclair. Earlier, I spoke with his son, Nigan Sinclair, about what has changed since the Commission's final report in 2015 and about the survivors and the families at the center of it all. Nigan, this day has always been about kids, right? The kids who survived, the little ones who didn't make it home. So many kids today wearing orange shirts everywhere in this country. What do you make of those kids?
I'm not surprised at all the survivors, our grandparents would make it about kids, but it's also about all kids, Canadian kids, Indigenous kids working together. We are raising the most competent generation in history. They know more than anyone has ever known in Canadian history on this issue, how to work together, how to work effectively and deal with what is an economic, environmental crisis, which at the center will always involve Indigenous peoples. It's people our age that perhaps aren't always so fast, are still debating the merits, the why. And it is the young people who want to move fast yesterday. They want to implement the 94 calls right away. And I think I would say the young people, be patient with us, but I would also say that we all need to step up a little bit more, and I hope a day like this reminds us of this.
Well, you know who else wanted to move fast was your dad, the commissioner of the TRC. When we speak of him today, we call him Murray Sinclair Iban. Can you help me understand why we say Iban?
So we say Iban at the end in our culture because he's now on a journey. And for us, it's a one-year journey to the lodge in the west, as we say, and joining all of our ancestors. And so that word Iban means with ancestors or in ancestry. And that means that we recognize that he is there. And so whenever you say his name on a day like this, but any day, we say it and he'll turn his head around when he's on that journey. And he'll think he's being called back. So if we have tears in our eyes, he's definitely going to want to come back. That's why we must keep saying Iban. Keep going. Go to be with the ancestors because your work here is done and it's our time to do this work.
Do you think he saw that his work was done? I mean, what's your sense of how he would interpret where this country is on reconciliation?
Well, if you knew Dad, he'd spend his life on the road. He loved this country more than anything. He loved visiting. He loved Indigenous communities, loved Canadians. And he probably would have spent all of that time if not for his ill health. He certainly showed that he loved the country as much as he loved me and his kids, his grandkids. He loved everyone. And he would be proud of us on this day, but he'd want us to get up and keep moving. And he had this kind of way about him that every time you ended up spending time with him, he would always say, now it's time for you to do something. And so he'd say, get up, and he'd pull out that crooked finger, and he'd say, get up, do something now. And so I think he would say to all of us, it's all fine and good to keep talking. It's all fine and good to have a moment in which we recognize the beauty of each one of us. Now we got to do something. We got to go talk in coffee shops, boardrooms, classrooms all across the country, and we got to evoke and create change everywhere. So given that,
what is something that might have given him a lift that definitely puts a lift in your step?
I think having the Prime Minister here would have meant a lot to my father. I think having our first Indigenous Governor General here.
As the Governor General, Her Excellency, reminded us, reconciliation is a generational task that must be lived and practiced every day by every Canadian.
Rile up the crowd by talking about the power of youth and imagining a future where Canadian and Indigenous youth are together and both fulfilling their goals together. But I think probably the most powerful moment was hearing so much language. My dad was a huge advocate for our culture, language, and identity, and he really believed that for young Indigenous peoples, the key for curing suicide epidemics, for creating economic potential, for just healing not just Indigenous communities, but the entire country would come from Indigenous young people learning our culture, identity, and our traditions.
Nigan Sinclair, as always, thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Cheers. Today's focus being the many children who never returned home. It is fitting to have a story tonight from the CBC Kids News Unit. It documented the journey of 6 teens from a small Arctic community to Ottawa for a connection with their past.
Good morning. We are on our way to the airport to go to Ottawa.
Hey guys, it's me again. I'm just kind of packing up for tomorrow's airplane ride. I'm going to be taking my PS5 so to entertain us while we're on the trip.
Right now I'm at the airport with Thomas.
While we're in Ottawa, we're going to museums where they put together exhibits of artifacts made by our ancestors.
Honestly, this doesn't happen very often where a trip is a possibility because it is so expensive to travel. 5 of the 6 students are graduates, and so this is kind of their last opportunity to go on something like this. And I thought, wouldn't it be neat for the students to go down south and maybe have conversations about repatriating? There's no reason why artwork, for example, that's just on loan from another institution to be stored or archived somewhere when it could come back to the community. Anybody that's invested in reconciliation understands the magnitude of students from the North or Indigenous students traveling, period. But then you add what we were traveling for, and it becomes that much more impactful.
That is fancy.
We just got to it.
That is so beautiful. First impression.
We're here in Ottawa in our Airbnb right now. Pretty cool, pretty big. First big house I ever got into.
Okay, just gonna see who can hold their breath the longest. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah, once everybody gets settled, we can go over the objects with you.
And this is Anne for me. This is Siroski.
Oh, it's Siroski? It feels like wood. Holding and being able to touch the artifacts was really amazing. A specific artifact that stood up to me was the owlet dit, because I really love fishing and I do want to try out the old ways of how they used to make their hooks, because there's like bones instead of metal. My papa told me that when you're using these, it attracts the fish to make them come and bite the hook. It hits the bone.
Yeah.
It makes this little sound for the fish to come.
It's so cool.
I do really want to try make one. Yeah.
You could kind of feel the energy that the artifacts give you. Because once you feel the artifacts in your hands, it kind of gives you like a little bit of energy and other stuff. Like the ancestors holding on to you, like touching you, like shivers on your spine or something like that.
We don't have every artist from Holman Co-op in the collection, but I chose one work or two works by each artist that we do have in the collection. I know you're doing a project based on these artists who are our predecessors as Inuit and have shaped artists today.
So this is an art piece that was made by Helen Kalvuk, but it was carved by my great-grandpa, Jimmy Mimogana, and they are dancing with Central-style hats with weasels. It feels... I don't know how it feels. It feels really great, but like I want to take it home. Yeah.
I guess I'd feel bad for the artists because they do spend a lot of time, and with those prints and those drawings, there's so much thought behind it and storytelling, and maybe they wanted it for themselves or their family. Did they buy it, or did they just take it without them knowing? Or like take it and say they're gonna bring it back? I don't know. I think it was really special that I got picked to go on this trip. Mm-hmm. I think it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Seeing our culture so far away, it definitely changed my point of view, because I thought they were gonna get it all wrong, but they didn't. In the museum, they were like, oh, this was so long ago, blah, blah, blah. To me, it doesn't feel like it wasn't that long ago. It feels all connected.
It was amazing to be on that trip because it opened up my eyes of how they used to do things a long time ago, and I think I really do want to keep going, and I do want to learn more to teach younger generations.
I learned a lot about my ancestors, of how they use the tools. In the future, I would like to do some carvings, like my great-grandpa did, and make some tools from scratch, like antlers and wood, to carry on the traditional styles for younger generations and make some people see what the culture can do.
What an experience, eh? Almost all of the students graduated in the spring. Caden is in his final year of high school. Well, coming up, why Canada has designated an India-based gang a terrorist organization.
The two key ingredients of the Bishnoi Gang are fear and money.
We'll break down the Bishnoi Gang and the mastermind behind it next. A high-profile Indian criminal network linked to acts of violence here in Canada. The Bishnoi Gang is now a designated terror group.
By identifying him as a terrorist group, we've raised his profile.
Lindsay Duncombe looks at who's behind the gang, its alleged criminal activities in Canada, and what a terrorist designation means.
The Canadian government blames the Bishnoi Gang for terror, violence, and intimidation in Canadian communities. This is its leader, Lawrence Bishnoi, a 32-year-old gangster. He's been in jail for a decade and runs his operation from behind bars.
From behind the prison, he started to expand his criminal empire.
He says that the two key ingredients of the Bishnoi Gang are fear and money. We create fear to generate money for us. That's his basic formula as a criminal mastermind.
Wesley Wark is a senior fellow at the Centre for International Governance Innovation. He's advised the federal government on national security.
The Bishnoi Gang is very famous in India.
In fact, Lawrence Bishnoi has even done interviews from jail. The group claimed responsibility for the murder of rapper Sidhu Moosewala in 2022. He was based in Brampton, but killed in Punjab. And then there's the murder of Sikh separatist Harjit Singh Nijjar outside his Surrey Gurdwara 2 years ago. Sources close to the investigation tell CBC News the 3 men charged with the murder were linked to the Bishnoi group. Canada said India was behind it, setting off a diplomatic crisis.
Canada has declared its deep concerns to the top intelligence and security officials of the Indian government.
Last year, RCMP held a news conference calling out India's links to organized crime in Canada.
And claimed by one organized crime group in particular, which is the Bishnoi group. So that's what we're seeing here in Canada.
Is the Indian government complicit in the running of that organization? Do we know that?
That is the allegation. It's never been tested in court, but it's a pretty high-profile diplomatic allegation, that's for sure.
This time they fired 25 bullets in the early AM of 4:40.
Search for Bishnoi online and you'll see videos like this. There's a pop culture folklore around the gang. And BC's former top cop says adding the terrorist designation to the group makes it worse.
Matter of fact, what we have done by identifying him as a terrorist group, we've raised his profile.
He believes much of the extortion targeting BC's South Asian community is actually local.
I believe that it's absolutely ridiculous. We're trying to pin this down to one particular person when we have a multitude of crime groups and individuals and thugs that are involved in this activity. So now we have local gangsters going out and saying that they are part of the Bishnoi Gang to instill that fear in the community so they can extort that money from them.
Lawrence Bishnoi, age 31, a terrorist and a gangster.
The government says naming the Bishnoi group terrorists will make it easier to catch and prosecute them. It may also increase the fear the name inspires.
Officials in British Columbia have praised the government's move. Police there have linked the Bishnoi Gang to extortions targeting the South Asian community. And earlier this month, the province formed a task force to tackle just that. When we return, in a day full of emotional moments here in Ottawa, there is one that stood out. The significance of the names on this banner and the space that remains. Next, in our moment. Welcome back to Ottawa. Among the moving moments this National Day for Truth and Reconciliation was that memorial cloth bearing the names of Indigenous children who never came home to their families. 1,000 more were added this year. There is blank space, too, for the children yet to be named. For about 10 minutes, people paused to honor them. So we leave you tonight with more of that moment. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.